It had been 1 year since the mud, the splash, the shame, and the stranger who changed everything. Amara Khan had risen from silence to success. She was no longer just the cleaner but a hospitality student by day and a respected VIP staff member by night. People now spoke her name with admiration, not pity. But just as peace began to settle, the past came knocking with angry eyes and unfinished business. On a breezy Wednesday morning, Amara stood in her kitchen, humming softly as she packed Zara's school lunch. Her little sister, now in Basic 4, danced barefoot to the music playing from an old radio. "Toast or pancakes?" Amara asked, waving a spatula. "Toast." Zara cheered. "I have to read a poem today. I want toast energy." Amara smiled and kissed her forehead. "Toast energy it is." They laughed, just like every other morning in their small apartment, modest but full of peace. The kind of peace Amara had prayed for. Meanwhile, across the city, a pair of tired, angry eyes stared at a printed photo on a worn-out table. A photo from the newspaper. The headline read, "From Mud to Bloom, Billionaire's Muse Shares Her Journey." The man holding it had a torn shirt, a scar over one eyebrow, and shaking fingers. Omar Khan. Her father. He hadn't come when her mother was sick. He hadn't come when she died. He hadn't come when his daughter begged for help. But now he had seen the paper. And the paper said she was dating a billionaire. He crumpled the page and stood up. "So my little girl thinks she doesn't need her father anymore," he muttered, pacing the room. "Let's see if money taught her manners." He grabbed his jacket and left, slamming the door behind him. Back in her apartment, Amara gave Zara a goodbye hug. "Go show them what toast energy can do," she whispered. Zara giggled and ran off. Amara turned back inside, unaware that this peaceful morning would be her last for a while. Because outside, walking slowly, watching her door, was the man she never wanted to see again. The storm was coming. And it carried her past on its shoulders. The day was long but peaceful. Amara finished her hotel shift with ease. The guests smiled at her. Her supervisor nodded in quiet approval. Even the flower vendor by the lobby handed her a rose, just because. Amara walked home with a smile and light steps. Her day had been good. The sun was setting, and the breeze felt soft on her skin. But then she saw him. Standing by the gate of her apartment building, leaning against a rusty pole like he belonged there. Her heart stopped. His hair was thinner. His face looked older. But those eyes, the cold, sharp ones she could never forget. "Amara," the man said with a half-smile. "It's really you." Amara froze, then slowly gripped the strap of her bag. "What are you doing here?" Omar Khan took a step forward. "I came to see my daughters." Amara didn't move. Her voice was cold. "I don't have a father." He flinched, then gave a short, dry laugh. "So that's how you speak to your own father now?" "You're not my father," she said. "You gave up that right." He waved her off. "Come on. Family is family. I heard you're doing well now. Dating a billionaire. Getting awards. Showing up in magazines. That's big. You should be proud. Don't call me family," her voice shook. "When Mom was sick, I called you every night. You never picked up. She died with a broken heart." Omar looked down, but she didn't stop. "She believed in you. Even when we ate soaked Gary for dinner, she'd say, 'Your father will come back.' And I hated her for that. Because you never did." His face hardened. "After she died, I had no time to cry. I had to take care of Zara. I worked so hard my fingers bled. She didn't know her dad, only me. And I promised myself she'd never feel abandoned like I did." He clenched his jaw. "So now you think you're better than me?" Amara's voice dropped. I don't think about you at all. You're just a ghost from my past. His eyes flashed. You think just because you're with a rich man, you're untouchable now. Don't forget who gave you life. She stepped back, calm but sharp. You didn't give me life. You gave me scars. And I'm done living with them. Just then, a strong hand rested on Amara's shoulder. Liam. He stood behind Amara, calm but firm. Is there a problem here? Liam asked. Omar barked, this is family business. Amara stepped in. No. Family is someone who stays. You left. Omar stepped forward again, but Liam didn't move. His voice was low but powerful. Walk away. Omar looked at Liam, then at Amara, his eyes burning with anger. This isn't over, he muttered. Then he turned and stormed off. Amara stood there, shaking slightly, her heart racing. Liam gently held her hand. Are you okay? She gave a small nod, but deep down, she knew he would come back. And next time, he wouldn't come alone. Outside a rundown bar, Omar Khan lit a cigarette, rage tightening every line on his face. He felt humiliated. First, his own daughter had thrown his past in his face. And now, some shiny rich man had the nerve to protect her like she was royalty. But Omar wasn't a fool. He knew how the world worked. Respect wasn't given. It was taken. And if Amara wanted to pretend she was above him now, he'd remind her. Mud always finds its way back to the surface. That night, he made a call. Not to an old friend. To an old enemy. Serena Malhotra sat in the VIP lounge of a rooftop bar, sipping from a crystal flute while ignoring the stares from half the room. She had been laying low ever since her mud splash scandal went viral last year. It had almost cost her everything, brand deals, her father's trust, her social standing. And all because of Amara Khan. She scrolled through her phone, pausing on a headline, cleaner turned star student, Amara Khan shines at hospitality gala. Her lips curled. She's still riding that wave, she muttered. Then a message popped up. Unknown number, you hate her. I want her gone. Let's talk. Serena's eyebrows lifted. She typed, who is this? Reply, her father. Her fingers hovered for a moment. Then she smiled. The next day, at a quiet corner of the city, Omar and Serena met. He looked rough. She looked flawless. But her smile was sharp. You must be desperate, she said, sipping her coffee. You know who I am and still called me. I don't need friends, Omar growled. I need people who want Amara out of the picture. Serena raised an eyebrow. Why now? He leaned forward. Because she rejected me like I was dirt. And that billionaire, Liam, thinks he can erase me. I want her to know what it feels like to be left with nothing. Serena studied him for a moment. Then she smirked. You're in luck, she said. I've been waiting for the perfect excuse to ruin her. He narrowed his eyes. So what's your plan? Serena leaned in. Simple, she whispered. We don't touch her. We touch her reputation, her name, her peace. We make her think the world that lifted her is about to throw her back down. Omar grinned. And just like that, two broken storms joined forces, ready to make the girl who bloomed from mud wilt again. The ballroom sparkled like a dream. Amara stood near the grand staircase of Goldcrest Towers, wearing a soft peach dress that swayed gently around her ankles. Her hair was pulled into a simple bun, and her smile was calm, grateful, not showy. The event was in her honor, a fundraiser celebrating rising stars in hospitality. And tonight, Amara Khan was the face of the future. Liam stood beside her, holding a single red rose. For you, he whispered. Amara's cheeks flushed. She took the flower with both hands and looked at him with quiet wonder. You always know how to make a moment feel like a story. He smiled. You are a story. One that's just getting started. Flashbulbs clicked as a few journalists snapped photos. Bloggers whispered. Is that her? The cleaner who became a hospitality scholar. She's beautiful. Liam Carter's got taste. For once, Amara didn't feel out of place in a rich room. She had earned her presence. But while the city clapped, someone was already plotting the next chapter. The very next morning, as Amara stood at a roadside stall picking plantains for Zara's lunch, her phone buzzed, again and again. Dozens of messages. Missed calls. News alerts. She unlocked the screen and froze. Headline, Cleaner's father speaks, my daughter cut me off after I raised her. Subheadline, Amara Khan's billionaire fairy tale isn't what it seems. A photo of Omar Khan appeared, sitting in a cafe, his face sad and wounded. Beneath it, a quote. She changed. Money changed her. I was there before the fame, but now I'm nothing to her. Amara's breath caught. The world around her blurred. More messages poured in. Amara is trending. Do you have a statement? Did you really abandon your own father? Her hands shook. The bag of plantains slipped from her fingers and hit the ground. She turned and walked away fast, fighting the tears stinging her eyes. At his downtown office, Liam slammed his tablet down on the desk. Who approved this story? He barked. His assistant flinched. It was a blogger. Unverified source. It spread overnight. Find out who paid him, Liam snapped. Now. Meanwhile, in a high-rise apartment, Serena smirked as she poured herself a drink. Let the fall begin, she whispered. Omar stood near the window, arms crossed. That's just the first hit. Serena turned to him. Trust me, her real pain hasn't even started. Back in her apartment, Amara sat on the floor in silence, the weight of it all pressing down. Her phone buzzed again. This time, just one message, from Liam. I'm here. I believe you. And we're going to fight this together. Amara closed her eyes as tears slid down her cheeks. She had bloomed once. But now, the mud was rising again. And this time, it was personal. The storm didn't pass. It spread. By morning, the story had leapt from gossip blogs to mainstream headlines. Amara's name was now tied to ungrateful daughter. The truth behind Amara Khan, from rags to riches, but at what cost? Worst of all, they used her photos from the gala, smiling, holding Liam's hand, clutching the rose, now twisted to look like a performance. Inside Carter Holdings headquarters, tension thickened the air. A long conference table stretched across the room. Around it sat board members, investors, and executives in tailored suits. Liam stood at the head, face calm but unreadable. Her past has nothing to do with our business, he said firmly. One older man cleared his throat. With all due respect, Liam, we're not just protecting stock. We're protecting image. Your image. Another woman added, she's linked to you in every article. This affects perception. A third chimed in, our luxury brand is built on exclusivity. Cleaners. Scandals. Family drama. It doesn't sell elegance. Liam's jaw tightened. Are you suggesting I walk away from her to satisfy optics? Silence. Then a sigh. We're suggesting caution. Later that evening, Liam sat alone in his office, staring out the window. He didn't care about status. But he knew how easily public pressure could shift power. He had worked hard to build Carter Holdings. He didn't want Amara to be caught in the crossfire of the world he belonged to. His assistant walked in quietly. Sir, the source of the blog leak was traced. Liam turned. And? It came from a burner account, funded by Serena Malhotra. Liam's eyes narrowed. Of course. Omar Khan was seen meeting her 2 days ago. Her cold anger rose in Liam's chest. They weren't just attacking Amara's name. They were building a war around it. Rain tapped softly against the windows as Amara folded Zara's laundry, trying to ignore the ache in her chest. Her phone had stopped ringing, but not because the storm was over. Because people had moved on to whisper behind her back instead. She thought of the blog posts, the boardroom whispers. The way one man, her own father, could smear everything she had fought so hard to build. She tucked the last of Zara's socks into the drawer and reached for her school bag to clean it out. As she unzipped the side pocket, a folded letter fell to the floor. Her heart stilled as she picked it up. Springfield School, parental notice. Dear Parent/Guardian. We regret to inform you that Zara Khan has been facing verbal bullying from a few pupils regarding her sister's recent media attention. We are taking steps to resolve the matter, but we recommend a brief meeting with the class teacher. Amara's hands shook. She pressed the paper to her chest and closed her eyes. Not Zara. Not her little sister, the one she protected like a lioness, the one she shielded from pain by carrying all of it on her own back. She sat down, staring at the paper until the words blurred. Then, like a ghost, she rose and walked out into the night. An hour later, she sat across from Liam at a quiet restaurant. He took one look at her face and knew. What happened? He asked gently. Amara passed him the letter, her voice cracked. She's being bullied. Because of me. He read it in silence. Then he reached across the table and took her hand. Amara, he said softly, this is not your fault. You've carried the world. Let me carry this with you. Tears welled in her eyes. I just wanted her to have a normal life. Liam leaned in closer. She will. I promise. They sat there for a moment, hands locked, while the world outside spun with noise. Inside, a quiet bond held them steady. Serena sat in her high-rise apartment, scrolling through her phone with a glass of wine in hand. Her lips curled as she read the latest comments about Amara online. She's falling apart, she whispered, pleased. The headlines, the gossip, the judgment, it was all going exactly as planned. She stood and walked to the window, city lights glowing beneath her. Perfect, she murmured. Now let's see how far she falls. It was a Thursday afternoon, hot, dusty, and too quiet. Amara had left work early to pick Zara from school. She didn't want her sister walking home alone anymore. Not after that letter. Her heart had not rested since. She stood beneath the mango tree just outside the school gate, her arms crossed, her eyes scanning every face. Then she saw her. Zara came skipping toward her, smiling wide. Amara. Amara bent down, arms open. Zara ran into them. Did anyone bother you today? Amara whispered. Nope. I just ignored them, like you said. Amara kissed her forehead. That's my brave girl. But just as they turned to walk home, a voice rang out behind them. Amara. Her heart dropped. She turned. Omar Khan stood by the school fence, holding a small pink gift bag. What are you doing here? She asked, stepping protectively in front of Zara. I came to see my daughter, he said. Amara's face hardened. She's not your anything. Omar took a step forward. She's my blood. Amara's voice rose. You don't get to show up at her school like this. You think a toy makes up for the years you abandoned us? I'm trying to reconnect, he shouted, anger rising. Why are you poisoning her against me? Zara clung to Amara's dress, confused and scared. You are the poison, Amara spat. You only came back when you thought I had something to offer. Omar's hand tightened around the gift bag. You ungrateful little. Security guards from the school rushed forward. Sir, you need to leave now. Omar growled. You think you're a queen now, huh? Because of that billionaire? You'll see. One day, you'll come crawling. Amara didn't flinch. I'd rather crawl alone, she said coldly, than let the man who left us walk beside me. Omar was escorted away, muttering curses. Zara's eyes were wide. Who was that man? Amara crouched, pulling her close. Just someone who lost the right to call us his daughters. They walked home slowly. No words. Just the echo of broken ties and a child's quiet heart trying to understand. But Amara didn't cry. She was too tired for tears. Too strong for fear. The next morning, Amara stayed home. She couldn't face the stairs at the hotel. Not today. Not after what happened at Zara's school. She needed one day to breathe. To gather herself. To remind her heart it hadn't shattered, just bent. She stood by the window, watching raindrops gather and race each other down the glass. Then her phone buzzed. One notification. Then 5. Then 10. She opened her messages, and her entire world tilted. Breaking, Amara Khan's tragic secret, father reveals her mother was an escort. The shame she tried to bury now threatens her billionaire fairy tale. There were quotes. Lies. Accusations. Words like illegitimate, scandal, and manipulative. The article was venom. And her father had poured every drop. Her legs gave out. She sank to the floor, gasping for air. Zara rushed from the kitchen. Amara? Amara? Amara couldn't speak. Her hands shook. Her chest heaved. The pain wasn't just in the article. It was in the betrayal. He had gone too far. Hours later, Liam found her, still sitting on the floor, the article opened beside her. He knelt silently and pulled her into his arms. I should have seen this coming, she whispered. I should have known he would do anything. Liam clenched his jaw. This is evil. She pulled back slowly. I think I need to end this. Liam frowned. And what? Amara wiped her eyes. Us. His face froze. She looked down. The more I rise, the more they try to pull me down. Now Zara's suffering. You're under pressure. The board is watching. Maybe it's easier if I disappear. Liam shook his head. Don't say that. Don't even think it. Tears ran down her cheeks. I didn't ask for this attention. I just wanted peace. Liam took her hand. You are not a scandal. You are strength. And I won't let the world rewrite your story. She looked into his eyes, searching for doubt. There was none. Only fire. Only love. But far away, in Serena's luxury suite, she scrolled through the chaos online and smiled. She's cracking, she said. Omar sat with a drink in hand. She'll break soon. Serena raised her glass. To the fall of Cinderella. But outside their glass tower of lies, something was rising in silence. Amara's resolve. And the truth. The lights were harsh. The cameras were many. Liam Carter stood at the podium, dressed in a simple black suit, his expression unreadable. Behind him, a banner read, Carter Holdings Press Briefing. But this wasn't about real estate. This was about Amara. The room was packed. Journalists leaned forward, pens ready. Social media live streams were rolling. Headlines were waiting to be written. Liam adjusted the mic and spoke. No business should be forced to defend a woman's dignity. A murmur rippled through the room. But today, I'm not speaking as a CEO. I'm speaking as a man who has watched someone fight harder than anyone should ever have to. He paused. Amara Khan is not a liar. She is not a manipulator. She is not ashamed of where she came from. And neither am I. Cameras clicked furiously. She worked when others mocked. She rose when others doubted. And while the world judged her for walking through mud, they forgot something important. He looked straight into the camera. Mud grows flowers. Silence. Then a wave of applause. Not forced. Not polite. Real. Liam's voice lowered. The people spreading lies about her, some of them even related to her, should be ashamed. You abandoned her. She didn't abandon you. The message was clear. Direct. Omar. Serena. Both called out without a single name mentioned. I stand by Amara not because of what she looks like or where she works, but because of who she is. He stepped back. The press exploded with questions, but Liam walked away, his message delivered. Amara sat in her tiny apartment, Zara beside her, eyes wide as the live stream ended. Her hands covered her mouth.